Okay, so if you've ever looked around at your life and just felt this, I don't know, this wave of shame about all the things you've started and stopped, then this explainer is absolutely for you. We're going to take what society often calls a flaw, and we're going to flip it on its head and show you why it's actually your greatest asset in the world we live in today. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? There's the guitar, just gathering dust in the corner. That website you got super excited about coding, but yeah, never finished. Oh, and the baking tools you were obsessed with for a solid month, and now, out of nowhere, you're thinking, you know what? I should really get into jiu-jitsu. If any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And society has all these labels for it, right? Dilettante, flaky. The problem is, we start to believe it. We tell ourselves we're just chaotic, that we don't have enough grit, that we're basically imposters because we can't commit to just one thing. And we beat ourselves up with this one very famous phrase.
We all know this part, don't we? It's the ultimate put-down for anyone with a bunch of different interests. We even use it on ourselves, to justify why we feel like we're falling behind. But what if I told you that's only half the story? And there it is. That's the part everyone forgets, and it changes everything. What you've been seeing as being scattered and unfocused, it's not a defect. Turns out, it's a highly adaptive nervous system building a rare and really powerful way of thinking that's perfect for the future.
So to really get why your brain is wired this way, we have to talk about the kind of world we're actually living in. Because the rules of the game have totally changed, and your instincts are picking up on it, even if you haven't put it into words yet.
See, for most of the last century, the world was what you'd call a kind learning environment. Think of golf. The rules are stable, the course doesn't change much. If you practice one swing for 10,000 hours, you get really, really good. That world rewards the specialist. But that's not our world anymore. We live in a wicked environment. The rules are changing constantly. And in this world, the specialist who only knows how to do one thing is incredibly fragile. If their industry gets wiped out by a new technology, they're suddenly obsolete.
So, okay, if being a super specialist is actually a trap, then what's the alternative? Well, the cool thing is, your brain has been unconsciously building the answer this whole time. It's a model that turns all those scattered interests from a weakness into an engine for innovation. This brings us to a really cool psychological concept called far transfer. Now, specialists are amazing at near transfer. That's using the tools they already know to solve problems they've seen before. But you, with all your different interests, you're set up for something way more powerful. Far transfer. You're collecting ideas and mental models from totally separate fields.
And this is a brilliant way to picture it. I mean, on the surface, beekeeping and web development have absolutely nothing in common. But that developer, they can see their project not just as a bunch of code, but as a living system, an ecosystem. They understand organic growth and complex, interconnected parts in a way that someone who's only ever coded never could. And that synthesis, that connection between unrelated ideas, that's where the real breakthroughs happen. So this all leads us to the idea of the M shape. Now, you've probably heard of the T-shaped professional, right? That's someone with broad, general knowledge in one really deep area of expertise. The M-shaped person takes that to the next level. You don't have one deep pillar of mastery, you have multiple deep pillars, and they're all connected by that bridge of wide-ranging curiosity that keeps pulling you from one interest to the next. Your superpower isn't just in the pillars themselves, but in the bridge that connects them all.
Okay, but here is the crucial point. You don't build all of this at once. If you try to learn data science, write a novel, and start a business all in the same month, you're just going to burn out. The secret is serial mastery. You have to start seeing your life in seasons. Maybe you spend a season getting really good at art. Then you pivot and have a season of programming. You didn't fail at art. You just finished building that pillar, and now you're building the next one.
Now, let's talk about how this approach doesn't just give you a career advantage. It gives you a true survival strategy. This last idea makes you basically bulletproof, and it comes straight from evolutionary biology.
You know, in engineering or business, we're taught that redundancy is inefficient, it's wasteful. But in nature, it's the absolute key to being resilient. It's the built-in backup plan that makes sure you can survive when things inevitably go wrong.
This is such a fascinating example. Get this. Elephants very rarely get cancer. Why? Well, it turns out they have a ton of copies of a cancer-fighting gene called P53. So if one copy of that gene gets a mutation or fails, they've got plenty of backups ready to step in and do the job. That genetic redundancy makes them incredibly resilient.
And that's exactly what your so-called chaotic interests are. They are your genetic redundancy. Think about it.
If you're only a software engineer and AI suddenly disrupts your specific job, you're in a tough spot. But if you're a software engineer who also happens to understand electrical wiring, can fix an HVAC motor, and knows how to teach English, well, now you're unbreakable. You always have a backup plan. You always have a pivot ready to go.
So let's bring this all home. It's really time to stop looking at your path as some kind of character flaw and start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerful strategic advantage.
I really want you to let that sink in. Every single one of those abandoned projects, every brief but super intense obsession, it wasn't a waste of time. It was a course you were taking. You were building your redundancy. You were expanding the bridge of your curiosity. You were gathering critical data from another domain.
Your purpose was never to just dig one really, really deep hole. Your purpose is to connect ideas, to connect different fields, to connect people that others can't even see are related. You are the synthesizer. You are the innovator. You're the one who can see the entire forest while everyone else is just staring at a single tree.
So I want to leave you with this thought. Stop asking yourself, which one of my interests do I need to kill off so I can finally focus? That's the wrong question. The real question, the much more exciting question, is this. With my unique combination of skills and curiosities, what incredible, innovative things can I build? What worlds will I connect?